Well, it's just before Halloween 2023, and this is Debbie D. David here, and I'm back at the New Way Bar doing stand-up comedy. And tonight, I'm not doing a set so much as I'm doing some show and tell and try to prove to everybody that I actually have worked in Hollywood and I have worked with these people. So come on along and join me up on stage with Paul Pipitone as our host, and enjoy the show.
Funniest comedian. Okay, everybody, your next comedian coming to the stage. You can see as Russell on Picard. Everybody, put your hands together for Debbie David, Queen of the Underground.
Oh, that was back to it. Oh man. Hey, get a better intro than that. Okay, so this is a comedy night at the New Way Bar, and but it's open mic night, right? That's what it says on the brochure. Anyway, so I can do a little show and tell. Not actually have to be funny. I mean, nobody's been laughing all night anyway. I'll do a little show and tell here tonight. Now, I've been up here at least 6 or 7 times. I died 5 times in a row, and then I had one neutral night. I'm up here doing self-promotion, you know. I'm Debbie David, Queen of the Underground, like Paul said. Song written by the B-52s. Nobody has checked it out. Are there other professional comics in here? Oh, there aren't any other professional comics in here. I am a professional comic. Yeah, I'm in the Screen Actors Guild. You know, I'm on strike right now. I'm not in the auto workers. I'm in the Screen Actors Guild. That's right. Carl David in the Screen Actors Guild. That's me. And I'm Debbie, Queen of the Underground, song written by the B-52s, and then I'm Ensign Russell on Star Trek The Next Generation. Somebody Google that and so I can show. You know, it's like, now I'm wearing this LeVar Burton Says to Read Banned Books shirt. Now we had several comics in here tonight that say they're teachers. Like Eileen, she probably left. And we had a couple others that they were teachers, you know. Now, aren't you worried that you're going to be seen on social media or something at the New Way Bar and that you're going to get some kind of like trouble because, no, I hope not, because we need you teachers. Teachers are wonderful. I tried to be a teacher and they wouldn't let me. Anyway, I'm trying to be like the Will Rogers and Elizabeth Taylor love child of the comic scene here in Ferndale right now. I'm Ensign Russell on Picard. I've got this Debbie David YouTube channel going that I want everybody to be in. And I'm wearing this LeVar Burton t-shirt tonight to say that LeVar is like my friend, you know? He did Reading Rainbow while we were doing Star Trek for scale. This guy's like one of the greatest human beings in the world, LeVar Burton, and to read banned books because they're passing all these anti-transfer stars. So I brought you like show and tell. That's me, Ensign Russell on Star Trek. That's LeVar Burton. I'm just about to save him in the episode. I forget which episode it is, but Emergence, I believe. Okay, and then I also want to reach out in these videos. You know, I'm a Hollywood talent scout too. You know, I've had several people like Wayne Brady got his when he came to LA. He was working at Universal, and I went up to him. I said, "Oh man, you're really talented and everything." I got this club, and then he came to my club, and they started doing a show at my club, Wayne Brady, you know. And then, but I was afraid to go to Wayne Brady and tell him about all the trouble I've been having in Ferndale with the Ferndale police and everything. I told Paul, the first time I met Paul I was running from the Ferndale police into here. And then I got up on stage about 20 minutes later. Yeah. We don't have a Speaker of the House, everybody. You know, it's been 20 days. This is historic. It's 20 times historic. And I'd just like to recommend, if anybody wants a recommendation on a Speaker of the House, I say Bose. Bang & Olufsen works too, and you could go with JBL, and if you're going to put it in your car, You need a speaker, you need Jensen. I went to a garage sale, and there were all these albums, musicals. Now, I'm a musical maven myself, and I started buying all these musical albums. And you know what they call a guy who's not gay, but he knows musical theater? Gay. That's what you call him. And last time I told that joke, he said it wasn't funny. Anyway, so I'm there looking at these albums, and I'm picking them out. And, you know, I'm a comic, and so I saw these albums by Bill Cosby, right? Now, I know we're not supposed to love Bill Cosby as a comic because of what he did and everything, but I met him in Hollywood, and he was a nice guy to me. So there were all these Bill Cosby albums in a row, all in perfect condition, you know. I talked about this last time, but nobody believed me, so I brought them in to tell them. Come on. All these Bill Cosby albums, right? So I'm going to steal as much material out of these anyway as I can. And look at that, Bill Cosby. But he's cancel culture, you know? So I've decided, instead of doing a movie like The Expendables, I'm going to do a movie called The Cancel, or a TV show called The Cancel. And the way that cancel is going to be is like all cultural canceled people, right? So it's going to be like Mel Gibson and Kanye West are buddy cops, right? And they're going to be have a boss who's like a really irate guy, Bill Cosby, their boss at the police station. And they're working for the mayor, Jeffrey Tambor, who is under fire from the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's being investigated by the president, Kevin Spacey. And he is an advisor, his advisor is Andy Dick. And he's going to find out who's blackmailing O.J. Simpson. And then we find out that it was Louis C.K. who saved the girl in the end. That's my cancel culture I'm going to do. I'm living at an old folks home now. Yes, I'm old. I've got some geriatric humor about that going with being a geriatric drag queen who's been gentrified out of Ferndale into Hazel Park. I'm now a Hazeltuckian, they told me, which is very funny for me because I am from Kentucky. I'm a hillbilly drag queen, that's right. I'm friends with Dwight Yoakam, and I'm not ashamed of it. Anyway, I'm living at this old folks home, and it's kind of like a movie for me. You know, everybody heard this movie, Crazy Rich Asians? So about a certain lifestyle of these rich Asians, right? My movie right now is Lonely Rich Widowers. Yeah, I hadn't had this concept in my head until I moved into an old folks home. But now that I'm there, there's all this like drama and underneath everything, you know, like I've met every EMT in the last 3 months. I've met every EMT at Hazel Park, and they're much better looking than the Ferndale EMTs, let me tell you. But when you're at an old folks home, you meet all the EMTs in town. I mean, they're there like every other day, and it's usually a good thing though. We had a notice come around talking about the senior citizen fire in Southfield and saying that, telling us how we couldn't smoke in our rooms or on the balconies or anything. And the next night, the police were there with two engines. The EMTs were there with two engines, and it was because somebody had caused a fire with microwave that they had cooked too long, and the paper caught on fire. It set off the alarm for the whole place. It's so much fun living there. Anyway, so I'm talking about being in musicals. I guess I'll finish on this. So I wrote a musical, right? And I wrote a musical and it's about the Cure. Anybody in here Cure fans? You got rock and roll and Cure? All right, we got one Cure fan here. Maybe you'll understand the titles of these things. All right, so I wrote this musical about the night that the Cure did a concert in Buenos Aires. And they were doing this concert in Buenos Aires, and this riot broke out. And the band, you know, so it's a very dramatic musical about the Cure and the night that they performed in Buenos Aires. And the name of the musical is Boys Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Boys Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. But that inspired me to write another musical, and it's about Robinson Crusoe. Anybody know Robinson Crusoe in here? All my teachers have left, right? So I don't know. Robinson Crusoe, all right. So I wrote this music about Robinson Crusoe, and I'm using the Cure's music in it. And the name of the musical is Friday, I'm in Love. Okay, everybody, I got a gift here in my show and tell, because I said when I was up on stage last time, Paul Pepitone, the Sicilian songbird of comedy, I introduced you that way, nobody got it. But anyway, Pepitone, I lived in Rome for a year. I worked as an actor all my life, you know. And so I lived in Rome for a year. I did several movies, one called Shocking Dark, that you can see me in. I did a couple of commercials there in Italy too. But in Sicilian, Pepitone means a bird, or like a songbird, or like someone who resembles or has the characteristics of a bird, Pepitone. And but it also means a small statue that kids used to make to use as a target. And so it became over the years of somebody who is teased by the other kids. And so it's really kind of a sad thing. And then, Paul, you're telling me tonight about your can't eat cheese and everything, you know, and so I came across this the other day, and I brought it in for you. I'm going to give it to you now. It's some spazcarelli. It's Sicilian split pea soup, and it's just like your great-grandmother Pepitone used to make in Sicily, all right? And this is for you, Paul. Thank you so much. You run the best comedy show in Ferndale, absolutely. We love you.
Hey, I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this.
That's what it is. You do.
Okay.
You deserve it, Paulie.
Yeah. So, hey. You know what's funny is in home we only eat homemade soups and all that. We do. We only eat homemade soups. But you know what's funny is that like this will look real nice in the cupboard. You know what I'm saying? It'll look real nice in the cupboard. People come over and people are like, oh, you like a less sweet pea soup? And we're like, yeah. You want some? Thank you. Hey, everybody here, next comedian coming to the stage.
Well, thank you, Paul Pepitone. You run the best comedy show in town, and I hope that you enjoyed my little comedy set here at the New Way Bar. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and tell your friends to subscribe to it too. Thank you very much. Debbie David out.